It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Welcome to Retail Focus, brought to you by 14:59 p.m. Retail Focus provides insightful, timely, and engaging discussions on the latest trends, news, and developments in retail, e-commerce, and technology. We aim to inform and inspire professionals, enthusiasts, and anyone curious about the evolving landscape of these industries. And now, here are your hosts, Suder and Bart Mroz.
Support for Retail Focus comes from Nerve Tonic Brand. Born in 2012 out of sheer boredom and questionable decisions, Nerve Tonic Brand has somehow defied the odds and logic to become a powerhouse online lifestyle brand. What started as a whim has transformed into a global hub of edgy clothing, snarky accessories, and unapologetic lifestyle essentials for those who prefer their style with a side of sarcasm. Sign up for the newsletter today to score 10% off your first order and stay ahead of the game with exclusive drops and discounts. That's nervetonicbrand.com, your style elixir. Hello, welcome to Retail Focus. I'm Suder. I'm here with my co-host, Bart Mroz.
Hello. Hey, we got a new background.
Bart, he's got a new background. He's doing his night moves, his New York night moves. For those on the video experience, you'll see Bart's new background. He gave up on the other one, I guess, because he took this very nice photo of New York City, and now that's his background. Before we get started today, Bart, why don't you tell me what your awesome thing is this week?
I finally got a haircut, so I'm not really shaggy looking. I actually got into my favorite hair place in New York City. Is this Japanese place where their haircuts are really quick and really nice, but also they vacuum your hair so you can go back to the office without scratching.
You know what? That should be a thing. That should be a thing. Hair vacuuming should be a thing.
It's great. It's like one of the best things ever to just kind of vacuum your hair and then underneath it, and you can go and not be itchy all day.
They have molecules floating around on your shoulders and ears and
sneeze and
right.
There you go.
You come back from a meeting and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, my ear is full of hair. Well, my awesome thing is, it's going to be St. Patty's Day weekend. It's the most wonderful time of the year. You got green beer, green cabbage, green food. Everything is green. Everything's coming up green. I tell you, laddie. And it's almost like a Scottish accent at this point. It's Scottish.
And Chicago's going to put their river green again. So there's that.
Yes, I read a story about that. Some sort of lore behind that, which I'm sorry I'm unprepared and don't have. Let's begin. First story. Home Depot, our friends Home Depot, bless their orange apron hearts, has decided they want everything delivered yesterday. That's because waiting until tomorrow is too much to ask when you're knee-deep in a DIY disaster. So they've teamed up with DoorDash and Uber Eats. Yes, the same services you use to get lukewarm pad thai are now slinging lumber and drywall, because nothing sends romantic dinner like a surprise delivery of 2x4s at 8 p.m. Apparently, Home Depot wants to be the Amazon of, home improvement type stuff. They're already using Instacart for the heavier stuff, and now these new partnerships will cover everything else. I'm picturing soccer moms in minivans filled with lumber.
Oh, I got a better one. That's why I'm laughing already.
Yeah. But hey, good for Home Depot, right? Their sales are up, gross profits are looking healthy, and they're just trying to make it easier for you to spend even more money on that half-finished deck. Just don't tip your DoorDash driver in loose nails, all right? Go ahead, Bart, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, because I live in Jersey City and in New York City, and usually DoorDash and Uber Eats delivers on little motorcycles.
Right.
There's a guy delivering on a moped
or a sheet of plywood on it strapped to his head.
Sorry, the image of this, just the brilliance of this would be really hilarious. All right, I'm assuming they're not going to deliver big stuff like that, but it's just the image of that sheetrock and driving down Fifth Avenue.
So apparently in the home improvement sector, digital is really starting to pay off. Evidenced by what Home Depot is doing here. And we can also talk about Lowe's, because Lowe's, they released their Q4 numbers and they were flat, but their digital jumped 10%.
Interesting. That makes sense I don't think it's lumber or your regular construction stuff. It's probably grills and, lawnmowers and anything like that.
Because this is the time where I empty my pockets into the home improvement stores to fix up my sad, decrepit yard from the winter time. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So you're going to get a lot of that. I mean, that's, I think the competition is not only Lowe's and Home Depot, but Walmart. I mean, they have, a whole bunch of that kind of stuff all the time. Target or anybody else, right?
Let's talk about Lowe's for a second. They've streamlined their BOPIS. BOPIS, you remember from the old podcast? Buy online, pick up in store.
Yep.
And they're making a big bet on AI. They're launching an AI-powered home improvement virtual advisor using the same tech their in-store associates are using. So think of it as having a digital version of the guy in the orange or blue vest, except hopefully less likely to steer you wrong. I was optimistic that the AI advisor will magically boost sales by giving customers project know-how and recommended products with direct links to buy. I think that's good. I think that's good strategy for them. There's a lot of, believe there's a lot of customers that still get intimidated by going in their home improvement store. And the more they can grasp that information themselves, I think is going to just help everybody involved, including the chains.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of Ace Hardware. I mean, or True Value. The smaller, little tiny places are probably one of the best ones out there.
Plus, they're independently owned, correct?
Yep.
There's we don't have a lot of them around here. I know they're just, but they always still look like the old hardware store where it's like they put everything out front and you walk up and you're like, oh, here's a wheelbarrow. Here's some.
I mean, it's going back to like, Beaches on 13 by my parents' house. Like that thing is still there, man. Every time you walk in there, some guy's been there for absolutely ages. And it's like one of the best stores to go to.
Yeah. It's a shame though, because a lot of these family hardware stores, when they pass it on, the kids don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
That a part of the neighborhood dies. I mean, there was one in my area that just closed and everybody's like, well, what do we do now? Oh, I guess we're going to Home Depot.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good update. Apple's about to give its software the biggest facelift since iOS 7. Reports say iOS 19, iPad OS 19, and Mac OS 16 are getting a dramatic overhaul later this year. Think new icons, maps, apps, windows, and system buttons. Basically, everything you see and touch on your devices is about to look shiny and new. The redesign is inspired by Vision Pro's mixed reality headset software, so expect more rounded icons, translucent elements, and shadow effects. Apple wants to make the experience across iPhones, iPads, and Macs more cohesive because apparently switching between devices shouldn't feel like jumping between alternate universes. This all drops at WWDC in June, where Apple will show off the updates. But let's be real, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their Cupertino hearts. With slowing iPhone sales and AI-powered Siri delays, they need something big to keep us hooked. So buckle up, your devices are about to get a glow up. Just don't panic if your favorite icons suddenly look like they've been through an Instagram filter. We saw this coming for a long time.
Well, they have to do something, right? The announcement is interesting. What are they going to do? I mean, they always have something, but it's always interesting when they do this kind of stuff because people freak out all the time.
See, do you remember what a drastic thing iOS 7 was? That was insane. Now, do you remember when that was released? I tried to guess and I looked it up and it still blew my mind.
No.
iOS was released on September 18th, 2013. I thought it was older than that.
No.
It was announced the keynote, WWDC keynote on June 10th, 2013. It was codenamed Innsbruck. And that's back when we had iPhone 4s, 4Ss, 5s, 5C, and 5S.
So here's my mind. Like I used to be a Windows guy, obviously all the changes or Android or all that kind of stuff. You can customize it. I might be in the weird minority. I like it that it's simple and they don't change a lot.
Yeah, I think offering too much customization allows for confusion on the consumer and it makes troubleshooting a little harder. I know back in the old days, this was more of an issue where people would customize their Macs and it's like, well, you installed this so-and-so and it's a system thing. And now you got to rip everything out and start over.
Yeah, it's same thing with like the phones or iPads or Macs. It's like, it's a simple machine that has the software on it. I just want to do the work.
And it's close.
I don't want to be the last.
For just that reason. I remember fiddling with my system folder all the time. Oh, I got to make this work. I got to try this. And then it'd be like, hey, Bart, what are you doing, man? Listen, can you help me? Because I screwed it up. I break my machine again.
Yeah. And I'm like, I like it simple. Like, I don't care. Like, the only thing about the phone, a foldable iPhone would be interesting to be smaller. Thinner, smaller, better battery. That would be like for me.
They're playing catch up. I told you and Bob the one time I saw a guy in the wild using a foldable. And that screen was beautiful.
No, they are.
I don't know how it's going to last over time with that constant stress on the hinge, but
Yeah.
it was beautiful. Now, I saw a mock-up of a foldable iPhone the other day, but again, these people do the mock-ups. They're just either working from strange rumors or speculations, but it was a foldable iPhone. But someone said the rumor was it was going to start out at $2,500. That would be a huge mistake because Samsung is already, the stuff that they're putting out. I saw a commercial for Samsung yesterday, and they had this thing called Morning Report.
Yeah, I seen the big one that folds trifold, basically. That's a cool one. Like, if they took the smallest iPad they had, because it's bigger than iPhones, right? And made that foldable, like an iPad, actual foldable into a phone, like combine the two in some way that's like, it's small enough to be this, but then you go, beep.
Right. And you know who the user is. It's guys like you and I. We're out to lunch. We want to get some work done. Pop it open, prop it up, do a little fiddling, and be on your way. Yep.
My other thing is like, not only fiddling, for travel people like me, it's like, I don't want to bring my whole laptop with me. It would be nice to be like, I just want to either screen share it to a hotel TV or just have it open because it's a big enough screen to work on.
Right.
That's one of the cool things. Remember when the little PCs used to be around? Yeah. It was like you travel with it and there's like you pop it in, it's a full PC. Right. That has never taken off in any shape or form.
Yeah, and it's funny, and I think the phone is to blame for that, remember we used to joke, it's like the phones are getting bigger and bigger, and there was guys holding iPads. We're almost that big now.
Yeah, but if you find it to be foldable, that'd be awesome.
This phone's pretty big,
Yeah.
Pretty heavy, too. But yeah, a foldable iPhone would be neat. Something that the size of a small notebook that would open up, like the Samsung. But they have some catching up to do. I think this OS thing will be interesting, and I think everything's going to go to round. It's going to be round buttons with shadows, lots of transparency. I don't know what they're going to do with windows and clicking and things like that. I don't know how, because I like how minimal everything is now. I didn't like all the Chrome that was on.
And it still like boggles my mind when you're missing some of the stuff. Like Windows has tabbing, but they have a tabbing per window and not per application.
Right.
Like built in. They like OS finally has snapping into, Windows and stuff like that. But it's like, it's still little tiny things that like just bug me. You have to have third party for certain things.
Yep. All right. Well, keep an eye on this one. WWDC is in June. We will report on that because I'm a big Apple nerd and so is Bart. So this is the kind of stuff that excites us, and I hope it excites you too.
Yep.
All right. Final story for today. Elon's very bad week. Elon Musk just had the kind of 24 hours this week that makes you wonder if he's secretly trying to sabotage his own empire. Let's recap the highlights, shall we? X cyber attack and outage. Musk's social media platform, Twitter, which he calls X, went down, and he blamed on a massive cyber attack that might have been linked to Ukraine. Because, of course, it couldn't be possibly due to poor management or infrastructure issues. Experts were less than convinced by his claims. Later, the hacking group Anonymous claimed responsibility. I have no idea if it's true or not, but whatever. Tesla's stock plunge. Tesla stock has plummeted over 50% since December 2024, erasing $800 billion in market value. Tesla shares plummeted by 15.4% on March 11th, shaving off a cool $22.8 billion from Musk's net worth. It seems investors finally realize that maybe, just maybe, Musk's antics aren't as charming as they used to be. Weak sales and leadership concerns didn't help either. And in Europe, Tesla's sales fell sharply in key markets. Germany saw a 70% drop in February, while France, Norway, and Portugal experienced declines of 45 to 50%. This contrasts with an overall rise in EV sales across Europe. Analysts cite weak global demand, delayed product updates like the Model Y, and Musk's political associations as key reasons for the downturn. Leadership concerns also have unsettled investors. And then there was the awkward TV appearance. Musk's interview on Fox Business was a cringe fest where he talked about juggling roles and referenced Monty Python because nothing says stable leadership like quoting a British comedy troupe while your company is in a free fall. I heard he was sad and almost cried too. Political and legal controversies. Musk called Senator Mark Kelly a traitor over Ukraine support. Because who needs diplomacy when you can just tweet insults? There's that ongoing lawsuit from Media Matters accusing X of algorithm manipulation. Just another day in the life of that visionary leader. Despite all this, Tesla shares managed a slight recovery the next day. Maybe investors are just waiting for the next Musk meltdown to really cash in. You know, Elon Musk has lost so much money, he may have to fire himself.
He won't fire himself. The board is not going to fire him. One of his biggest problems is like he bought Twitter with boring against Tesla.
Yeah.
So if Tesla goes way, way, way down,
I don't know.
He has a problem.
Do you recall the number that the nut he's got to pay every year on that?
I don't know what it is, but it's decent. But it's also against those shares, and that's a problem financially moving stuff around. Like it becomes now, mind you, that Tesla stock has been overvalued for a very long time, so it should be very much overvalued. So it's coming down, but like it was always overvalued, so it's just not a thing.
Yeah. It should be trading like a regular car stock at like $15 a share, not $243.
It should be probably trading at like a little more than a regular stock. You're talking, it's probably should be trading about between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
That's about it. Your regular stocks are, regular car stocks are 15. It's more technology. It's American made, blah, blah, blah. So you trade a little more. But not at the numbers that was trading at. It was so overblown.
Yeah, and it was all based on the hype. It was like the boy genius. Oh, he's gonna,
But also like if take all the political stuff out, take all the the chaos that's going on right now. I think Tesla stock would have dropped, because the promise of robotaxis. He keeps on saying that it was the whole promise of. A new Model Y or Model S took 10 years. The Cybertruck, that took him forever. He promised it a long time ago and still hasn't released it full, right? The big semi-trailers, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I think they discontinued the trailers. I remember that was a big thing, and Walmart bought a bunch of those electric trailers.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like it disappeared. Same thing with the robotaxi. Like Waymo was out there and doing its thing, technology-wise. I still listen. I don't design these cars and stuff like that, but what I know is like him relying fully on just cameras without LiDAR is kind of weird. I think it's taken a long time to get there. Waymo's doing a lot better. It's out there. It's doing its thing. It has the robotaxi going on, and they're expanding. But if you look at Waymo car, there's so much tech on top of it, right? He wants to have a regular car with 6 cameras that it has and be done with it, right?
He just wants it to look like a Tesla, so you just got basically the screen and then a bunch of cameras, and that's it. And I agree with you on that. And like you said, Waymo's been around. They're in San Francisco. They're in
there's a whole bunch of places they're in, and they're expanding,
and they're expanding. And people that take them actually really enjoy them. My friend Sue took one. She said it was a great experience. She took one in San Francisco. You hear Kara Swisher talk all the time. She
loves it. Yeah. I mean, every one of them will have its own problem, right? It's tech. It's not perfect. They're still testing it out and doing. That's why they have this limit stuff. I think relying on just cameras is interesting, so, but he's been promising robotaxis forever. So like a stock is going to drop. It just is, you can't be hope and dreams. You're propping the stocks on very much hope and dreams, but hope and dreams expire at some point.
Yeah, you can't. Right. Exactly. You can't. You can't.
You got to deliver stuff.
You have to deliver, right? You have to deliver. We watched that with, remember the solar tiles, his solar tile company.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Right.
And the Boring Company. That's the dumbest idea ever. I don't know why.
Like to me, his business, his regular business should be the the 3 and the Y, because they are the most popular. They're just regular people cars. Make those as efficient as possible so the price comes down. Right? They're the most popular ones. And then the S and the X, it's the luxury ones. And stick with those 4.
Right. Where's the
Right?
Roadster?
I mean, where's the Roadster? Right. I was just going to say, where's the Roadster? Right. And just stick with those. And I get it. Like, there's some movement there, but and the other thing is, I think they're charging stuff like all these other car companies are putting their charging or their plugs into their cars because it is a standard. It's a better standard than anybody else's. It's a smaller form factor. It works. It has the credit card stuff built in. It's just better, and they're everywhere. So, like, let's go. I get all the hope and dreams and all this big thinking, but like in reality, it should be more mature of a company.
Yeah. You know what? And for all the haze I give the guy, being a visionary thinker is something, but I think the guy, he's overextending his 15 minutes of brilliance. And now everybody's got a bad taste for the guy. And now he's like a supervillain, and it's not good. It's not good for the company. It's not good for tech. People
because I mean, as much as, if you really think about it, people already have a really bad taste against tech companies, right? And the tech people, right? So, but all that stuff and we've been working in tech forever. So, I mean, it used to be the finance pros. Now it's tech guys, just getting shitted on. But, at some point it's like, where are we? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, so many different companies. You want to be involved in so many different things. That's great and dandy, but like, do that. Do the company things.
Human beings only have a finite amount of energy and attention. Now, he says, I don't sleep, but I work weekends. Good for you. You're going to be burned out in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, the mistake of him, he made a mistake of buying Twitter. He just did because he opened his mouth and then SEC went after him and said, you have to do it. You either get sued to oblivion for the same amount of money or it's yours. Yeah. So now you have to buy it. And that's his mistake, right? Because if you think about it, his 2 companies they're proper companies, right? It's Tesla and SpaceX, right? Do your rocket things. It's doing great. We just recently, they just, one broke and exploded, but they're progressing with things faster and more efficient and cheaper for a whole bunch of things, right? And let me say, the third one is Starlink. Because if you think about it, Starlink is like lowerable, internet stuff. So 3 companies, and just stick with those.
I don't like how he uses Starlink as a political tool. I don't like.
He's using all of them as political tools now, right? Because that's where he's playing. But like, if you're really stuck to fundamental business, you can have all those 3 businesses and still be the richest guy, still do what you want.
Yeah, and just set your trap and get to work. Because let's talk about SpaceX. They can deliver into space at lower cost per kilo.
Yeah.
Than the next closest competitor, which is a Russian
star is like 10 times the more. Yeah, it was
10
whatever
times
that number
more. So SpaceX is really, for all the noise
political BS, right?
Because he did that to himself. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very successful company, and I think a lot of money is going to move there and away from Tesla because he's just. I mean, you see what's happening with the dealerships and people online just don't like the dude anymore.
And then the funny thing is, if you think about it, like Tesla itself, right? If you really just take him out of it, like Tesla is an American company. It's built here. It's pretty efficient. Not everybody likes them, but whatever. The model for dealerships has changed for them because purchasing one is so easy. Maintenance on them, there's none. There's no maintenance on them in reality. You're to tires, but that's just normal because any EV will have it because they're heavy. So if you take all the political stuff, all his bravado thing, take him out of the picture, it could be a really good company, basically.
It should be.
It should be, right? So you take those 3 companies, make them good. Like your base company that's steady is your Tesla. Your crazy idea steady company is SpaceX, right? And then internet connected, global company, you make that a Starlink.
Right. And if you want to go do your weird flamethrowers and hyperloops and all that.
Have fun with that.
Hey, have fun with it. But, stop sticking your nose into everything else. You can't do everything and be the hero of the day.
Yeah. And countries should not be run as companies. Sorry, they just should not be. They're not made for that.
Nope, that's not the way. He paid $40 billion for Twitter and all he got was 3 branches of government. Poor guy.
Anyway,
Let's close with a joke. Elon Musk, Tiger Woods, and the Pope and a college student are on an airplane. Folks, this is the parachute joke. Have you heard it before? Fast forward. The plane is going down. The pilot's bailed and it's going to crash. There's 4 of them and only 3 parachutes. Tiger Woods says, I'm the best golfer in the world. I think I should get a parachute. Everyone agrees. Tiger Woods takes a parachute and jumps out of the plane. Elon Musk says, I'm the smartest man in the world. I think I should get a parachute. Everyone agrees. Elon Musk jumps out of the plane. The Pope tells the college student, my son, take this last parachute and live a long, happy life. The college student says, we can both go. The smartest man just jumped out with my backpack.
I haven't heard that one. That's great.
That's an old chestnut. All right, let's close it up. We're at 30 minutes. That's it for this week. We hope you learned something, but if not, at least you wasted some time. We'll be back next week with more questionable advice and unsolicited opinions. If you enjoyed the episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. If you prefer the video experience, you can check out our YouTube channel. And lastly, check us out on the socials. We are on Bluesky, Twitter, and Facebook. And sign up for our newsletter where you'll get extended show recaps and behind-the-scenes info on the show. The links are in the show notes. All right, closing thoughts.
Just have a fantastic week, my friends.
Have a great St. Patty's Day. Even if you're Scottish. Have a good St. Patty's Day. You'll like us. Until next time, may your internet be fast, your video calls be clear, and your mute button always work when you need it most. See ya. Say bye.
Goodbye. Sorry. Your Irish accent goes into Scottish really quickly. It's just too funny. Too funny.
What do you do now,